What if today was the day? The day that every believer has wondered about, prepared for, hoped for, and feared they might miss. This is the story of one ordinary morning that became the most extraordinary moment in human history. Meet the Johnsons. Sarah is making breakfast, humming an off-key tune, flipping pancakes with practiced ease. Her husband David is getting ready for work, straightening a tie he bought on their 10th anniversary. Their daughter Emma is finishing her homework at the kitchen table, pausing sometimes to trace the heart she's drawn next to her name. Across town, at Riverside Elementary, Mrs. Patterson is writing the day's math problems on the board. 23 third graders are settling into their seats, backpacks thudding onto the floor, pencils being sharpened. Little Michael Chen is doodling in his notebook, spaceships and stick figures, while his best friend Sophie is already raising her hand with a question about fractions. The classroom smells like chalk and new crayons. A bulletin board proclaims, "Welcome back," in bright letters. It's the kind of morning that feels like it will last forever. But in heaven, the Father is looking at his watch. The time that no one knows, the hour that even the angels haven't been told, has arrived. The first sign is subtle. Sarah glances out the kitchen window and pauses. The light has changed. It's still morning, but the quality of the sunlight is different now. Richer, golden, almost liquid, as if someone had poured honey across the sky. She shakes her head, thinking it's just her imagination, and turns back to flip the pancakes. David is in the bedroom, knotting his tie, when he notices it too. Through the window, the sky seems deeper, more vibrant, like colors dialed up a notch. He walks closer to the glass. The clouds are moving in strange patterns, swirling slowly like they're being stirred by an invisible hand. He checks his phone. No weather alerts. No news notifications. Just something in the air that makes his chest tighten and his thoughts go quiet, as if the world is holding its breath. At Riverside Elementary, the children feel it before they see it. A hush falls over the classroom, the kind of quiet that makes Mrs. Patterson look up from her desk and stop mid-sentence. 23 pairs of eyes are turned toward the windows. The light outside is changing, shifting from yellow to gold to something that doesn't have a name. Somewhere down the street, a car horn begins and then stops as the driver stares skyward. "Mrs. Patterson, what's happening?" And then it begins. Sarah drops the spatula. It clatters against the stove, but she doesn't hear it. She's staring at her hands, her own hands, and they're glowing. Not with reflected light, but with light from within, as if her very cells are illuminating. The glow is warm, not harsh, like a sunrise inside her skin. She looks at Emma, and her daughter is glowing too, her eyes wide with wonder, not fear. "Mom, I feel different." David rushes back into the kitchen, his work bag slung over one shoulder, and he's glowing too. The three of them stand there, a family bathed in holy light, and they understand. After years of Sunday school lessons, after countless sermons about being ready, after prayers whispered in the dark, this is it. This is the moment. In the classroom, Mrs. Patterson sees it happening to her students. One by one, they begin to shine. Michael Chen looks at his hands in amazement, then up at the ceiling, as if expecting something magical to drop in. Sophie is crying, but they're tears of joy, streaming down her cheeks like tiny rivers. The teacher, a woman of deep faith who has prayed for this day since she was a child herself, feels her own body beginning to transform. She reaches for the Bible on her desk, fingers trembling with praise and wonder, and quietly mouths a prayer of thanks as the light surrounds them. "We're flying, Daddy. We're really flying." The light intensifies. In the Johnson kitchen, Sarah reaches for David's hand, and he reaches for Emma's, and they hold on to each other as their feet begin to lift from the floor. It's gentle, like being carried by a loving parent. Emma is laughing, actually laughing, as she rises, hair floating, the kitchen clock turning away beneath them. "We're flying, Daddy. We're really flying." Through windows all across the city, all across the world, the same scene is unfolding. In hospitals, believers are rising from their beds, their illnesses left behind like discarded clothes, IV lines dangling, monitors still beeping as the room's empty. In offices, in cars, in parks and homes, in churches, the faithful are ascending. The sky is full of light and movement, thousands upon thousands of souls being drawn upward. Mrs. Patterson and her students rise together, still holding hands, their classroom left behind with its half-finished math problems and scattered crayons. They pass through the ceiling as if it were made of mist, up into the golden sky, and the last thing they hear from Earth is the sound of car alarms and confused voices, already fading away. Higher now, above their neighborhood, above the city, the Johnsons see other figures in the distance, neighbors, friends, strangers, all bathed in the same glow, drifting toward a brilliance that seems to open like a vast, welcoming door. The air is filled with music, not music they're hearing with their ears, but music they're feeling in their souls. It's the sound of coming home, a harmony that nudges memory and hope at once. And then, in an instant that feels both sudden and eternal, they're gone. The light fades, the sky returns to normal, the morning continues, but everything has changed. In the Johnson kitchen, pancakes are burning on the stove, smoke curling up in small gray ribbons. Emma's homework is still spread across the table, her pencil lying where she dropped it mid-sentence. The coffee maker beeps, announcing that the brew is ready, but no one is there to pour it. 3 chairs are empty. The house feels too quiet, too large, as if someone's breath is missing from the room. At Riverside Elementary, chaos is erupting. The classroom that held 23 students now holds 7. 7 confused, terrified children who don't understand why their friends vanished before their eyes, why Mrs. Patterson is gone, why they were left behind. The principal is running down the hallway, trying to make sense of reports flooding in from every classroom. Where did they go? Where's Sophie? A young teacher named Mr. Rodriguez stands in the doorway of Mrs. Patterson's classroom, staring at the empty desks. He's been teaching for 3 years. He goes to church on Christmas and Easter. He considers himself a good person. He never thought, he never really believed. And now he's looking at 16 empty chairs, and he understands with terrible clarity what has happened. Across the city, the realization is spreading like wildfire. Cars have crashed because their drivers disappeared mid-ride. A passenger plane is circling the airport in emergency mode, crew and passengers scrambling to account for missing souls. In homes and hospitals, in schools and shopping centers, people are discovering empty spaces where their loved ones used to be. Emergency lines are overwhelmed. Social media fills with shaky videos, a mother calling a name into a silent room, a man staring at his hands, bewildered. The world is trying to label the unexplainable. In the Johnson house, a neighbor has broken down the door, drawn by the smoke alarm. She stands in the kitchen, staring at the abandoned breakfast, the empty chairs, the family photos on the refrigerator swinging slightly. She's known the Johnsons for 5 years. Sarah invited her to church a dozen times. She always said she was too busy. She always said maybe next week. She picks up Emma's homework, and her hands are shaking. The paper is titled, "What I'm Most Thankful For." In a child's careful handwriting, Emma had written, "I'm thankful for my family, and I'm thankful that Jesus loves us, and I'm thankful that someday we'll all be together in heaven forever." The neighbor sits down in one of the empty chairs and begins to cry, the realization folding into grief and a strange, aching hope. Mr. Rodriguez is still standing in the classroom doorway. He pulls out his phone. His hands are shaking so badly he can almost drop it. He opens his Bible app, an app he downloaded years ago but never used, and searches for the verses he vaguely remembers from childhood Sunday school. Matthew chapter 24, verse 42. "Therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come." He reads it again, swallowing hard, feeling the weight of every missed opportunity. Around him, students whisper and cling to one another. But even in this moment of devastating realization, there is still hope. Because the story isn't over. For those who remain, there is still time to choose, still time to seek, still time to find the faith that they missed the first time around. The rapture was not the end. It was a beginning, a wake-up call, a final invitation. Emergency shelters fill with people asking questions. Small groups form in living rooms, people reading scripture aloud for the first time in years. The sun is still shining, the world is still turning, but nothing will ever be the same. In empty houses and abandoned classrooms, in the spaces where loved ones used to be, the evidence remains. They were here, they were real, and they were taken to somewhere better, somewhere eternal, somewhere that's been waiting since the foundation of the world. And for those who are left behind, every empty chair is a reminder. The day no one knows has come and gone. But the God who kept his promise to return is the same God who promises that it's not too late. Not yet. Not while there's still breath in your lungs and a choice to be made. What will you choose?